Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 8 of my Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with the Franchise Hockey Manager 7 series with the Ottawa Senators. It is July 1st, 1999. We are coming off our best regular season with a fairly disappointing postseason. We lost in the first round, finished with the best record in the NHL in the regular season. And yeah, we made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. It's free agency time, and we are going to make a couple of offers because the one thing that we talked about at the end of last season was our depth. We ended up relying on too many 1-star and 1.5-star players due to injuries. So what I want to do is I want to bring in some of he wants $1.5 million. It's fine. I'll give it to him. I want to bring in some depth. Bring in a couple of older forwards that can that can be those spot fillers when we need it. Like, bring in someone like Doug Brown. He's pretty good defensively. He only wants a 1-year contract. That's fine. And Joe Murphy. And that gives us a little bit more. Oh, he wants 3 years. Wow, that's a lot for Joe Murphy. What about Shane Corson? Okay, we'll give Shane Corson a 2-year deal. I'm okay with that. So that brings in potentially a couple of forwards and a defenseman who, frankly, would be one of the better defensemen on our team. I'm also considering making all right, I had a crash, but I'm back. I'm going to save real quick so that we don't crash again and I don't have to go through and offer up free agents. We've got some stuff to do here in the offseason. We got the draft announcement coming up. Then we have expansion again this year as the Atlanta Thrashers are coming in. Then we have the entry draft on the 3rd. And I'm contemplating making a big move at defense. Just for S's and G's, as they say, I put John Madden, I offered him up. The reigning Selke Award winner. And I got some really intriguing defensive offers. So I'm contemplating making a move here where we move on from Madden and pick ourselves up a legit number 1 defenseman. We'll see what happens here in the draft, see if we can pick up some forward depth or if we can move up and pick somebody else out. But the player that I'm looking at would slot in absolutely perfectly as a top line defenseman alongside Jovanovski or Stewart or whatever, and that just makes our defense that much deeper. So it's something I'm considering. We'll take a look at it, but first things first, we have to submit our protection lists. So we'll protect Hobby Bulin, and then defenseman Phillips, Jovanovski, Soleil. Mironov because he's still 2.5 stars, and Colin Wyden. Yeah, I don't want to protect Mironov because I want to protect McLaren. I want to protect my better defenseman. So that means Tamander, Hammer, Havlid, Caberlet, and Mironov. So Mironov will likely get selected, but that's fine. So now we got to protect forwards. St. Louis, Doan, Yashin, Dimitra, Alfredson, Holmstrom, Rolls. Ooh. I'm going to have to leave one of... I won't protect... So it's going to come down to Bure or Dockel. I think we protect Bure because he's younger and frankly Dockel has it. So let's do this. See, a 2nd round pick from Atlanta. So we can get, I think that makes sense, Johan Hecht. I like that 2nd round pick from Atlanta. Because that's going to be a top of the draft 2nd round pick, so it's basically another 1st round pick that we could use to move up. 21-year-old Danius Zubris. Kevin Dean, Brian Noonan, Sebastian Bordeleau. Excuse me. Yeah, we're going to take this deal right here. That way we don't have to worry about protecting him. And, shoot. Philippe Boucher signed with Tampa Bay. They offered him more money. All right, so both of these guys want more money. I should have offered everybody more money right off the bat. That was pretty clear. So let's just do that. And then Stapleton, he wants $649 for 3. That's fine. So we'll give him $700 and see if he takes that. Submit. Yeah, so we pick up a second round pick. So we'll take a look and see what the draft looks like. And we might be able to use our first, our second, and Atlanta's second to move up in the draft. So let's get to the expansion draft. Wow, look at some of the Patrick Waugh, Nabokov, Theodore, Darius Kasparaitis. I would have liked to have brought him in. Cam Neely is being left unprotected by the Bruins. All right. Let's complete the draft. All right, so who did they take from us? They took Turek from us. Damn it, so we need a goalie again. Okay. All right, let's get through the draft first. Actually, let's look at free agency really quickly just to make sure there's nobody else here. Mike Rosati, we can sign him because we're going to need a goalie. I'll probably see if I can pick one up in a trade during the offseason, but for now we'll go with that just in case I can't. Okay. It is draft time. Yeah, so we're picking 28th and 29th. So we literally have the last pick in the first round and the first pick of the second round. And we don't have a second round pick because we traded it for Rolston. All right, so let's get to the draft. A lot of players here we're not going to have any access to. That's fine. But if I could get... All right, well, let's just see how the first couple picks go. Joel Ward goes to the Atlanta Thrashers as their first overall pick. Followed by Henrik Zetterberg. Followed by Henrik Sedin. Followed by Daniel Sedin. So Henrik goes to the Sharks. Daniel goes to the Lightning. Nicholas Cromwell to the Leafs. John Michael Lyles to the Blues. Danny Heatley still there. Chris Kelly, Craig Anderson. Couple of decent players here. Martin Havlat. I wouldn't mind picking up Chris Kelly. Michael Layton, Dennis Seidenberg. I don't know how many of these players are good enough to move up in the draft, but we'll keep going a few picks and see if anybody's left over. There goes Heatley. There goes Craig Anderson, Martin Erat, Kevin Dahlman. All right, so whose pick is it now? It's Vancouver's. Can we move up and trade with Vancouver? I want Vancouver's draft pick. We will give them our first and this one. All right, well, if you'll do that, will you do this? You will. Okay. Well, let's do this then. Will you do that? Okay. So it's now our pick. Okay. So we can go Chris Kelly, Radim Verbata, Martin Havlat, Alex Burrows, no, Kevin Bieksa, Paul Martin, Ron Hainsey, Seidenberg, Michael Layton. I think Leighton will be there with our next pick. So we're going to take Chris Kelly because I like the defensive value out of Mr. Kelly. So now let's just go to our next pick. And really, everybody's still here. So we can take Havlat or Leighton, Barrett Jackman, Marc-Andre Bergeron. Patrick Steffen is in here at a 1-star, 1.5 star. Meh. We're not confident about his whether or not he's going to reach his potential. Let's see. Scout suggestions say we should take Verbata. Safe suggestions say Paul Martin. And risky says Verbata. Okay, we'll take Verbata. That's fine. Oh, wait. It's not our pick. Pick until human. All right, so there we go. They're all gone now. All those players that I was looking at before are now gone. So I think we're going to take Michael Leighton because we need another goaltender in our system. Pick until human. And we're literally down to 1-star players. Is there anybody here that I've even heard of? Matt Karkner. We'll take Mike Danton. Sure. And then we're just going to go ahead and finish the draft because I don't care about picks 6, 8, and 9. All right, so unsigned. Who do we have that's unsigned that we want to bring in now? I think we'll offer Kelly a trade, or offer him a trade. Offer him. You don't want to be a two-way forward. You want to be a two-way forward. What about a checking forward? Okay, so we move you back to two-way forward, and you should be happy now. All right. Even if we keep him down in the minors this year, I would like to have him. And then Radovan Somik at 1.5 star. He's another one we'll bring in just to have the depth again. And yeah, so our roster now, we need a goalie. We are good on our forward lines, and our defenseman lines are fine, especially once we bring in those backup players, the players that we offered free agent money to. But we need a goalie. So we're going to save. And we're going to go to the league home, roster, and trade block. So Yuri Letnin, Alexei Zhitnik is there. Byron Defoe. I wouldn't mind picking up a Byron Defoe as my backup goalie, or a Mike Dunham. What would it take to get Defoe? We'll give you a bunch of draft picks, because you know that's how I roll here. Give you a second and a third for Byron Defoe. And we'll add a player in there to see if we can get an immediate kind of feel for how it works. Havlat. Hardly likely. All right, so it looks like I'm going to have to give up actual talent. What about Caberlet, who's 1.5 stars? Does that change anything? No. All right, so we're going to go back here. Let's look at Dunham, because he's only 2 stars. So maybe I can get something done here with the Sharks. And the Sharks actually had one of the players that was being offered up to me. They were offering me Sandis Ozelinch for John Madden. Can I get Ozelinch and Dunham for Madden? Let's see. I would do it. Ozelinch is one of the best offensive defensemen of the era, and we really could use somebody in that role. So let's see if that works. Okay, so we signed Rosati. Stapleton can do better. Doug Brown can do better. I don't care. I'm not paying backup guys $700,000 a year. I'm sorry. So let's just go ahead another week. Okay, so they say no way. but it's close. Okay, so Dunham and Ozolinch for Madden and I don't know, like a third? What if we do that? Players need to be assigned numbers. Somak wants 90. So 9, it's funny, he wants 96, but it's already used. So we'll give him 97. All right, let's go ahead a week. Chris Kelly signed his number. He wants 22. Or signed his contract. He wants 22. He can have it. Let's go ahead another week. Okay, so it's still close to being all right. So what if I do this? Take the second out of there. And what if I gave you Mironov? You think that they will probably accept this offer. Okay. So can I get anything else out of them? So they got Henrik Sedin. They got a 19-year-old Vinny Lecavalier. Yeah. Okay, so they won't give up Lecavalier. That's to be expected. Or what if I did this? What if I gave you, because Bure is, my guess is this won't work, but I'm going to try it. So we'll give them Bure, and let's take back, I think that's a well-balanced offer. So Dunham, Ozolinch, and the Cavalier for Bure, Mironov, and Madden. And I will even throw in a second-round pick. So that gives us our depth back at center because we're giving up a center, getting back Lecavalier, giving up Mironov, getting significantly better at defense, giving up basically it's Bure and a second-round pick for Mike Dunham, which isn't ideal, but we need a backup goalie. So I'm going to make that offer. Let's sim ahead a week. Accepted. Okay, so let's complete the trade. Huge trade with the San Jose Sharks as we give up the reigning Selke Award winner John Madden. Madden with a 66 game rating. I felt confident giving him up because he was, to be fair, he was only our third line center. He was behind Yashin and Dimitra. And now I also have Thornton and Lecavalier that I can throw up the middle. Bure was, I mean, he had a career high of 14 goals, game rating in the low 60s. I mean, he's pretty good offensively, but I think he's replaceable. Mironov is what he is, a 33-year-old two-way defenseman. And in return, we pick up Mike Dunham to be our backup goaltender, so that will work. We pick up a 19-year-old Vincent Lecavalier, whose ratings as a 19-year-old look pretty good. Good offensively, good physical. Probably stick him on the fourth line this year. And the big score is Sandis Ozolinch, one of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL. A 75 game rating last season, 3 straight years of mid-70s. He becomes our immediate number one defenseman and the best defenseman we have for our power play. So, huge deal there. Which I think is going to work out for us. So I'm going to go ahead now and sim ahead to the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and I will be back in a minute. All right, it is time for the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and we also have another trade that is currently pending. My guess is we'll probably have to add a little bit to it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's see who gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, though. Dave Christian, Capital, Coyote, also played for the Bruins. I guess here. Yeah, well, in this playthrough, he played for the Bruins for 1.5 years. Capitals. He made the Hall of Fame. Good for him. Reed Larson, Red Wings and Bruins. John Tonelli, and Dennis Merrick. I don't know him all that much, so let's look at his stats. What? Doesn't have any real stats. This guy made the Hall of Fame. All right. Well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna argue it. So let's go ahead a week and see if our trade is accepted. My assumption is that it won't be, but we'll see. No way. All right, so I'll show you the deal, and then we'll go in and we'll try to mess around with it a little bit. So we were going to send Frantisek Caberlet, Chris Phillips, and 3 draft picks to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Jeff Sanderson. I'm now not going to make that trade after looking at Sanderson's ratings. I'm not all that keen on him, so I'm kind of glad it didn't go through now. Let's look at the trading block again. I attempted to make moves for Brind'Amour and Lettinen, and I couldn't find anything that worked without giving up one of our 2.5 star or higher players. I could have made the deal work here by giving up Thomas Holmstrom. And I think I had to give up an additional draft pick? Yeah. 2 firsts, a second, and a third, and Holmstrom for Rod Brind'Amour. Now, Rod Brind'Amour is really, really good. I mean, look at those ratings across the board. But I don't know that I want to give up all of those draft picks. So that's a well-balanced offer. I would give up Holmstrom for Brind'Amour. Do I have another player that can move the needle? I would move Chris Phillips. Okay, but that doesn't do it. What about Chris Kelly? That doesn't do it. Yeah, I would have to give up one of my 2.5 star players. Like I bet Jovanovski it would work. What about McLaren? No. What about another draft pick that isn't my first next season? Yeah, I'm really just pounding through my draft picks here at this point. All right, we're going to hold off for now. I would love to bring in Brind'Amour, but I don't know that it's necessarily worth mortgaging the entire future when Holmstrom is pretty good at what he is. So we're going to go ahead now and sim ahead to the preseason. I'll be back in a second. All right, so scouting report just shows the free agents that we're not going to sign because they're RFAs. Jose Theodore, is he an RFA? Yeah. And I'm not going to, it's all goalies. Look at that. I mean, there are a couple exceptions in there, but development report. A lot of the unsigned players are getting better, which is exactly what we want. All right, so let's get into the roster. We will let them dress the right players. We will let them create the lines. And we will go ahead to the end of the preseason. Hopefully we don't suffer any major injuries. Are we done? That was it? Really? Okay, training camp development report. Again, we got our unsigned players getting better. We look at our... Whoa, Lecavalier just jumped up to a 5-star. He was a 3-star when we traded for him. So big bump there for Vincent Lecavalier. Chris Kelly got better. Brad Stewart continues to get better. Joe Thornton is up to 3 stars. All right. All righty. Okay, so now I think we have to go up to let's go up to the waiver draft, which is tomorrow. So we have to protect 2 goalies. So we will protect Dunham. We will protect Hobby Bulin. And then let's just pick our best skaters. St. Louis, Yashin, Dimitra, Ozelinch, Alfredson, Holmstrom, Jovanovski, Soleil, Rolston, Jumpf, because I need that forward depth. Maniluk, because I need that forward depth. It doesn't matter. We can protect basically everybody. Havilid, T-Mander, Arvidsson, because he's been around forever. And 2 more, sure. We won't be able to protect Rosati because he's a goalie, so that works. Okay, season preview. All right, we are one of the Stanley Cup favorites to go alongside Colorado and Detroit. So that works. Waiver draft. Action pick until human. Is there anybody here we want to grab onto? No? I mean, it's going to make me pick somebody, so it doesn't really matter. But, let's do it like this. Let's see if there are any. Jason Cullimore is a solid defensive, but I don't need any more defensive depth. I could take a Scott Frazier. He looks pretty good as a backup, I guess. So let's finish the draft. All right. So we now have to cut our roster down significantly. So we'll send Rosati. I'll place him on waivers, I guess. Well, I guess not significantly. We need to send 2 people down. So one's going to be Kelly. And the other is going to be Arvidsson, I think. Schaefer is better and Frazier is better. Yeah, so Arvidsson is going to be placed on waivers. Defensively, we are going to take Phillips out, put Jovanovski in. And we're going to set our lines. So let's go ahead and clear the lines and start over. So our top line will remain the same. That will be Yashin, St. Louis, and Alfredson. Our number 2 line is now going to be, I think Thornton moves up to that second line alongside Doan and Holmstrom. And we'll set their positions here in a second. Our third line will be Dimitra with Rolston on his right. And actually, I think we do this. We do Lecavalier, Rolston, and Dimitra as our third line. And then our fourth line is Sushinsky, Somik, and Jampf. Defensive pairings, we're going to go Ozelinch and Jovanovski. Yep. Then we're going to go Ruslan Saleh and Brad. Actually, I think we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to go Ozelinch and Stewart. Look at those ratings. And then our third pairing is Colin White and Kyle McLaren. So let's make sure everybody's ratings are where they are. Stay-at-home defenseman's fine. A couple of stay-at-home defensemen as our third pairing I have no problem with. Jovo's fine there. Soleil, it's fine there. Stewart as a 16 stay-at-home defenseman, yes, sir. And Ozelinch as a 15 quarterback. Yep, I'm good with that. So Alfredson now, two-way forward. That makes sense. Yashin. I think I want to leave him as a dangler, see if we can duplicate last season and all those goals. And then, yeah, we can go speedy forward. Speedy forward with Martin St. Louis. Second line, Grinder is fine for Holmstrom. Thornton is up to a 17 playmaker. Yes, sir. And Shane Doan as a power forward. I'm good there. Dimitra as a sniper. Lecavalier. His ratings aren't quite where they need to be, but playmaker's the right move for him. And then Rolston as a... I'd like him as a two-way, yeah. And then the fourth line, two-way forward. Counterattacking is fine. And then Jampf as an up-and-down winger is fine as well. Goaltenders, obviously Hobby Bulin first, with Dunham next, and I am recording. Yes, okay. Extra attackers will be Thornton and St. Louis. Shootout, we're going to go Yashin, Dimitra, Doan, St. Louis, and Holmstrom. Cool. Power play. And we are going to have a killer power play this season. So Yashin, Sandis with Ozelinch. What is he as a playmaker? So 14 as a playmaker. So no, we're going to do this. And we're going to put Thornton. Thornton doesn't belong on the point, though. So I think I want Thornton there. And this line will stay the same. Stewart will be there. So who do we want? I guess we'll put Lecavalier and Dimitra. Sure, that works. I'm not crazy about the second line. I'm not crazy about Stewart on that second power play, but I don't have enough offensive defensemen to make a difference. So we're just going to stick with what we have, and we will lean on Sandis Ozelinch. Okay, so 4-on-3, we're going to go Yashin, St. Louis, Alfredson, Thornton, Doan, and Dimitra, I think. Except we'll switch these two. That gets Thornton, I think it's Dimitra at the point with his sniper ability. On the PK, now this is, we took a step backwards here. That's fairly obvious. When we moved on from John Madden, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. You gotta do what you gotta do. Ozelinch and Soleil, White and McLaren. So we'll go Alfredson. St. Louis and Alfredson as the second pairing, and then Rolston. No, Rolston was up here, I guess. That's not what I want to do, though. I want to do this. I guess Thornton and Doan, St. Louis and Alfredston, Rolston and Holmstrom. 3-on-5, we're going to go Doan and St. Louis. 3-on-4, we'll go Doan and St. Louis. Jovanovski, Stewart, Soleil, Ozelinch, Jovanovski. Excuse me, Ozelinch, Stewart, Soleil. 4-on-4s. Yashin and St. Louis. Thornton and Doan. With Ozelinch and Stewart. And Soleil and Jovanovski. And then 3-on-3, we're going to go 2 forwards and a defenseman. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. And it will be Yashin, St. Louis, Thornton, and Doan. Goalie starts. We're going to leave it just the way it is. Our lines are set. We're going to save, and we're going to start simming. So let's go ahead. All right. Trade. That's a nothing deal. All right, let's go ahead a month. See how long we can go without injuries. There we go. 5 games. 5 games before we suffer our first injury. And it's Ruslan Soleil. We'll replace him with Chris Phillips. Let's keep going. Bit of a rough start here for us. We're 5-4-1. I guess 5-6-1-2 technically. Phillips is now hurt. We can put Soleil back in. Yeah, bit of a rough start for us here. Wow. So we finish November 5. I think it's actually worse than that. 5-5-1. Not a great start. Yashin, 15 points in 12 games. He's tied for first in goals. Alfredson's tied for third in, is it goalies? Yeah, I mean, we don't have a goalie on there. So let's look at goalie stats real quick. I mean, Hobby Bullen hasn't been bad, but for the time, he hasn't been very good. A 2.76 and a 9.13. I expect more out of him than that. That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to stat summary. So offensively, we're doing okay. I mean, Yashin, Alfredson, St. Louis averaging a point a game. Stewart's got 8 and 12. Ozelinch, you assume that he's going to be, a defensive anchor, but he's a plus 12 in 12 games. I mean, Thornton only has 1 goal in 12 games, so we're not getting the secondary scoring that we got last year. So hopefully that changes here. But yeah, I mean, the second line, Dimitra's got 7 points as the third line center. Thornton has only got 6 points. Holmstrom only has 1 goal. Yeah, so it's that secondary scoring that's not getting it done, but I assume they will. So we will just keep going to December and see how things go. Who's hurt now? Sushinsky is hurt, so we'll bring in Schaefer. Yeah, maybe we have to take a step backwards this year before we take a step forward next year with those young players. I mean, although I find it hard to believe that just losing John Madden is the difference between us being the best team in the NHL and us being average, because right now we're average. We're 12-9-1. Alfredson gets suspended for how many games? 3 games. All right, so we will put Sushinsky in there. And we have to change the lines up a little bit. So we'll move Dimitra up to the top line, and we'll leave Sushinsky on the third pairing. And let's keep going to the end of December. So we've rebounded a little bit, and then as I say that, we lose 3 in a row. So we are 13-11-1. We are in first place. Good development out of Lecavalier, who still has 1 goal in 25 games. Dimitra's got 11. Yashin got a little worse. Okay. Standings-wise, we are in first place still. We are tied with the Bruins. We have, I guess, the 3rd best record in the East. Detroit's 14-1-8. What a ridiculous record that is. Yashin's tied for is 4th in points, 3rd in goals. Let's start with the stats. So Alfredson's back. Let's get him in the lineup. Put him back where he belongs. So has the secondary scoring gotten any better? I mean, our top line's fine. 30 points for Yashin, 22 for St. Louis, 19 for Alfredson. Ozelinch and Stewart are both providing some pop. Thornton's only got 2 goals. Yeah, our secondary scoring this year has been awful. I think we're going to go back to the line that did really well for us last year. Holmstrom, Dimitra, and Doan. We're going to take Lecavalier out of setup role, put him in counterattacking because we've got Thornton and Rolston on there. Yeah, and we'll move Dimitra back to that second line center position and hope that gets us back to where we were a year ago. Okay. Let's save first. And let's go to League Home and roster and trading block. So Sanderson is still there. He's got 12 goals. I mean, can we make a move for Sanderson now and give up less? So it's become hardly likely that they'll accept that offer now when I remove Chris Phillips. If I add Phillips back, it's well balanced. All right, well, they aren't willing to make that deal yet, so we're going to keep going to January 1st. We had a bit of a hot streak and then slowed down. Yeah, I mean, we keep losing. 14-12-1 now. 3 points behind the Bruins. We need a hot streak here somehow. There we go. Bit of a hot streak there. And as soon as that happens, McLaren gets hurt. How long is he out for? He's day-to-day, so Chris Phillips will come in. 19-15-1. It's almost the next month, so it's almost time for another quick pause. All right, so we are 20-16-1. I think that puts us in second place. 1 point behind the Bruins with a game in hand. Yashin continues to motor along, third in the league in scoring, second in goals. Detroit is 27-2-8. I don't know. Yeah, 27-2-8. Let's look at their roster real quick. Ray Shepard, 43 points. Yzerman, Corey Stillman, Kozlov, Lidstrom, Chris Draper, Adam Deadmarsh, Fedorov, Primo. Wow, they are stacked. Osgood hasn't lost. He's 15-0. Let's look at us. So Yashin getting it done, 46 points. St. Louis having a really nice year. Alfredson, scoring's down a bit, but plus minus is there. 28 points in 34 games is fine. Thornton has started to pick it up a bit since we moved him to the third line, believe it or not. He's at 20 points in 37 games. Dimitra and Doan each have 15. Yeah, that second line is not getting it done this year. Lecavalier has got 9 points in 30. So maybe we take a step backwards this year to allow Lecavalier and Thornton to really step up. I mean, who knows what will happen in the postseason, but for now, yeah, those players are, looks like we've taken a bit of a step backwards this year. Hobby Bulin, 12-10-2 with a 2.45 and a 9.12. He's taken a step backwards this year. You can see, 9.24 and a 2.25 last season, so he's definitely taken a step backwards. Dunham hasn't been bad as the backup. So yeah, let's go ahead to February. Who's hurt now? Doan is hurt. That's not good. How long's he out for? He's only day to day. All right, so we will replace him with Sushinsky. We're going to move Rolston up. And we're only going to sim ahead till next week because I don't want to sim ahead any longer than necessary without Doan in the lineup. Soleil suspended for 9 games. What did you do? McLaren will replace him. We get Doan back. Sit Sushinsky down. How is Schaefer doing? He's got 3 points. Sushinsky had 7. Yeah, so we will replace Sushinsky, or replace him with Sushinsky. All right, so Doan's back. I just want to quickly look. Okay, we're back in second place, 2 points behind the Bruins. Let's look at upcoming free agents, because I was going to say, I know we got a bunch there. This is the year we spend a lot of money, I think. Bring Thornton back. Bring Hobby Bulin back. Oh, boy. Okay. Bring Hobby Bulin back. Bring Yashin back. Alfredson back. This is a ton of money that we are spending, but that's okay. Holmstrom, bring him back. That now may be a contract that we move. That's a lot of money for Thomas Holmstrom. But we will cross that bridge in the offseason. Bring Phillips back. That's not a lot of money. Soleil, bring him back. McLaren, bring him back. That's good that he doesn't want a lot of money. Sushinsky, bring him back. I like the depth. He's been pretty solid for us as a 13th forward. Colin White, bring him back. And then we'll wait a bit. I'll probably end up bringing the rest of these guys back just because I want the depth, but we'll wait. So let's go ahead to February. So we're bouncing back and forth with the Bruins in first and second place. Ozelinch is now hurt. How long is he out for? 1 to 2 weeks, and I don't have a defenseman that I can call up. Or that I can I send Schaefer back down, or is he going to have to go to waivers? Nope. Okay. Grand Rapids. Call up Caberlet. And we will replace Ozelinch with Caberlet, and then we have to reset the lines. I guess we're going to go Colin White on the top pairing with Stewart for now. Soleil should be out for only another couple games, right? He's 4 more games. All right, so let's go ahead to next week. Another injury. Somik gets hurt this time. We'll replace him with Frazier. games. Okay, let's go to next week. 26-20-1. I don't think we're going to be able to bring anybody back yet. Yeah, Soleil's out for another 2 games. All right, so let's go ahead to February 1st. So we're tied with the Bruins. We're now behind 4 points behind the Bruins for first place. February 1st, 28-22-5. We've already lost as many games this year as we lost all of last season. So obviously it's been a step backwards this year. Not ideal, but you know, I guess it's part of the territory with having a young team. We're in second place. We are in pretty good shape for the postseason, so I'm not worried about that. But it would be nice to win the division again. Right now we're 4 points behind the Bruins with a game in hand. The Red Wings are up to 42-9. Yashin's second in the league in goals. Let's take a look at our roster and our stats. Again, top line getting it done. 60 points, 47 points for St. Louis, 40 for Alfredson in 48 games. Thornton is up to 31 points. Ozelinch and Stewart are having a really nice year as our top D pairing. But that second line, it's just, I mean, they're up to almost a point every other game, which isn't that far off from last year, I guess. Holmstrom's actually having a pretty good year compared to last year, but Doan's way off and Dimitra's way off. Cavalier's having a rough rookie season, but that is fine. I mean, he's a rookie. He's 19. Yeah, I don't know what we need other than maybe some forward depth. Trade block. And there really isn't anything on the trade block that would give us that depth that would really make us better. So we're going to hold off. And we'll take a look as we get closer to the trade deadline because people tend to show up on there. But for now, yeah, it's pretty rough on the trade block. Development report, I guess we could take a look at that. Alfredson, Dimitra, Holmstrom. Lecavalier is getting a ton better over the course of the year, just not quite where we need him yet. McLaren, Somik, St. Louis, Stewart all get better. Frazier got worse, but that's fine. He's just a bench player. It's a big game here against Boston. Do we win? Let's see. Sim to the next day. We do. We win 3-1. That's a big win there. White with an assist. Ray Bourque. Sebastian Bordeleau scored first. St. Louis picks up his 20th and his 21st. Jovanovski scored. Good game for Hobby. He only faced 14 shots. Did I see that Ozelinch is back? He is. Excellent. So we can replace him. We can replace Phillips with him. Come back in here. Oh, Yashin is hurt. I didn't notice that. How long is he out for? He's day-to-day. All right, so we will replace him with Somik. And I think very easily we'll just move Thornton up to the top line, move him there, and just run with that for a couple of days. So we'll sim ahead a week, and hopefully we get Yashin back. Still best if he was held out of games. Okay, let's sim ahead another week. Colin White's hurt, but we get Yashin back, so let's move him. Put Alexei back in. White's hurt. We will replace him with Phillips. And let's make sure the lines are set properly. Okay, so it's February 12th. Nothing of note there. Phil Housley out for 4 months. Buffalo signs Dominic Hasek to a 2-year contract extension. Let's get up to March 1st. Okay, so we've had a bit of a nice run here. We're in first place. 2 points ahead of the Bruins now. I think we're tied. Yeah, we just lost to them 3-2. So we're tied for first place now on March 1st. David Vaborny, player of the month. And Bill Ranford, goalie of the month. Development, St. Louis is out for 3 weeks. Damn. Bad timing. All right, so let's look at standings. 47-5-11 for the Red Wings. They had a bad month. They lost 3 games that month. We are in first place. Second best record in the East, behind only the Rangers. Hobby Bulin is 4th in wins. Yashin, 5th in points, 5th in goals, 7th in assists. Just having an unbelievable season. Alexei Yashin continues to lead our team. It's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go here. Yashin, St. Louis, Alfredson, top 3 in points for us. Thornton, up to 39 points in 63 games. Ozelin, 35 points in 56 games. He's a plus 28, doing everything we hoped he would. Demetrius picked it up. That's nice, up to 33 points in 63 games. Holmstrom's having his, really what's going to end up being his best season. Shane Doan really took a step backwards this season. I guess he could still have a hot month and come close to his goals from last season. But Lecavalier is a plus 2, has 19 points in his rookie season. And we are going to have to bench St. Louis. Replace him with Somik. And we are going to move Doan up. Well, that's part of the reason I Dome on the third line like a dummy. So Doan's going to be on the top line here now for the next 3 weeks. Let's get up to the trade deadline, and then we'll look and see who's on the trade block and see if we can't cheaply come up with a way to improve our team for the rest of the season. All right, so we're at the trade deadline. Standings, we are in first place, 2 points clear of the Bruins. All right, so let's save quickly. Let's go to League Home, roster, and trade block. Brett Hull is on the trade block with St. Louis. I would guess we would have to give up a ton to get him, but Brian Bellows, Bobby Holik, Brian Bradley. Holik wouldn't be terrible. I want to do this without giving up one of our 2.5 star or higher players. That's really the goal here. Now, they won't trade me Hull without giving up something of substance, but maybe we can, let's just start with, let's just throw some garbage in there and see. Okay, so this actually gives me hope because, you don't get the this is no base for conversation reply. So what happens if we, okay, so Haviland in a second they think is a well-balanced offer for Brett Hull. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Okay. So there's our deal. There is our trade deadline acquisition. So we will replace him with Hull. Go into our lines. We will move Brett Hull. Oh, Hull's already in there. We will move everybody down. When we get St. Louis back, he will go on the top line. Hull will stay on the second. Doan will move to the third with Joe Thornton and Vincent Lecavalier on my third line. So we had a dangler, a grinder, and a sniper. So what else can we do? Let's make him a playmaker. And yeah, so on the power play, we gotta get Hull out on the power play somewhere. They had him on our top line. Yeah, we'll leave him on the top line power play for now. And when we get St. Louis back in a couple of weeks, we can shuffle the lines. So yeah, okay. So we get Brett Hull for Nicholas Haviland in a second in next year's draft. So let's go to April 1st because it'll too many players on the active roster. Can we send? Should be able to send Somik down because this is his first season. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to next month and see how that goes. That was really unexpected. I guess they were just looking to get out from the contract. So, that works for us. So let's keep going. Let's get to April 1st. We're 40, 25, and 5. So we've started to pull away here a little bit. We have a 3-point lead on the Bruins. Player of the month, Iserman with Roman Cechmanek, the former Ottawa Senator, winning the goalie of the month. Lecavalier continues to improve. He's up to 2.5 star now. Phillips, Stewart, Shusinski, and Thornton all get better. Thornton's having a really nice year. Okay, St. Louis is ready to go, so let's take care of that. Who goes to the bench? Frazier. Replace with St. Louis. How's Hull doing so far? 10 games with Ottawa. He's got 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 points. That is pretty solid. So, where is St. Louis? Right there. Okay, so we're not going to leave him there. We're going to do something like this. So our first line, Daniel Alfredsson, Alexei Yashin, Martin St. Louis. Our second line, Thomas Holmstrom, Pavel Demitra, Brett Hull. Our third line, Vincent Lecavalier, Joe Thornton, and Shane Doan. And then our fourth line is Rolston, flanked by Shusinski and Jomf. On the power play, we got to get Ozelinch back out there. And St. Louis will go there and there. Holy crap, guys. Like, Thornton, St. Louis, and Doan on a 4-on-3? Sure. Don't mind if I do. Guys, we are loaded. Look at our roster. It's beautiful. Look at this beautiful roster we have put together. All right, so it's April 1st. Let's get to the award nominees. Let's finish off the season. See if we can win the division. It looks like we are going to win the division. We're up to 100 points. Lecavalier gets hurt. How long is he out for? 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so we'll have him back, assuming we don't get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. We should have him back at some point. But we're going to switch up the lines. We'll put Frazier as our fourth line center. So we got Rolston, Thornton, and Doan now. Is that the end of the season? Yeah, okay, so the season is done. So we finished 47, 27, and 6. Good for 100 points. Best record in the East. So we ended up with the best record in the East when it was all said and done, even after that rough start. Detroit ended up 58, 10, and 12. Alexei Yashin with another 100-point season. Finished third in points. Brett Hull in 15 games had 16 points, 10 goals for us. Yashin finished fifth in goals, 6th in assists. Alfredsson was 9th in assists. Dunham, our backup goalie, finished 7th in the NHL with a 2-1-2 goals against. Hobby Bullen finished 4th in wins. Lemieux finishes with 113 points. They finished 1-2 in scoring in Pittsburgh. Lemieux and Yager. Matt Sundin leads the league with 50 goals. Mario Lemieux, 72 assists. So let's take a look. Let's start with goaltender stats. Hobby Bullen, 32, 19, and 7 with a 2.29 and a 9.20. So he finished up right about where he was last season. A little bit worse in both save percentage and goals against, but a negligible difference there. Dunham came in and was really, really good as our backup, so that was nice to see. Stats. Alexei Yashin, again, 100 points. Brett Hull finished with 79 points, but 16 and 15 games with us. Daniel Alfredsson, 73 points in 79 games. Again, down a little bit from last season, but was a plus 34. Martin St. Louis was down a little bit from last season as well, but still finished with his third straight 30-goal season. Sandis Ozelinch, just an absolutely outstanding first season for us. 51 points in 75 games, was a plus 44. Let's look at John Madden and see how he did. His first season in Ottawa, 40 points in 81 games. Excuse me, was a 71 game rating. So a trade that worked out well for both teams, I think. Pavel Demitra, again, had a bit of a down season. Didn't score nearly as many points, down to 16 goals, 46 points. Joe Thornton had a really nice sophomore campaign. Next year, he's going to be a beast. Thomas Holmstrom actually finished with more points this year than he had last year, so that's nice to see. Brad Stewart followed up his rookie campaign with another plus season as a defenseman for us. Shane Doan had a down year, but his plus-minus was up, and I'm not really worried about him. I mean, his ratings are fantastic, so he'll be fine. Rolston actually had a nice year for us. 29 points in 82 games, bouncing between the third and fourth lines. Lecavalier, not a terrible rookie season, but I expect next year he will he will we'll see some pretty significant jumps there. Jovanovski, another good year for us, both offensively and defensively. Same with Ruslan Saleh. Sushinsky got his first, his second straight season of full playing time. And as a fourth-line player, not bad. 16 points. He was a plus player. Janf played all 82 games and was fine. Phillips and McLaren gave us some good back-end defensive work. They were both plus players. Same with Colin White in his 54 games. And that was that. So good year for us as we move to the postseason, where we're going to be taking on the two-time defending champion Philadelphia Flyers. Let's look at the award nominees. Coach of the Year, Pat Burns, Robbie Ftorek, and Scotty Bowman. Ted Lindsay, Yager, Sakic, or Lemieux. The Messier goes to Shanahan, Leach, or Fedorov. Lady Bing, Oates, Alexei Yashin, Mike Eastwood. The Selke, Dallas Drake, Kevin Adams of the Bruins, Kirk Maltby. GM of the Year, Brian Murray, Cliff Fletcher, David Poli, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Calder Trophy, Daniel Sedin, David Vaborny, and Simon Gagne. Norris Trophy, Leach, Lidstrom, and Sandis Ozolinsh. Vezina, Osgood, Brodeur, and Nabokov. Hart Trophy, Yager, Sakic, Lemieux. No surprise there. So we're taking on the two-time defending champions here in the postseason. So let's see how it goes. Game 1 is a 2-1 victory. Rolston would score for us. Yashin would score first. They would tie it up in the third period, and then Rolston would score a minute 13 into overtime. 33 stops out of 34 shots for Hobby Bulin. So let's go to the next day. Oh, Eric Lindros is out with a torn UCL, so that's going to hurt Philadelphia. And we win 4-3 there, so we're up 2-0. Brett Hull with the hat trick for us. So I would say that deal worked out for us. They took a 2-0 lead. Ojinen and Racine would score, then Hull would score twice within a span of about 30 seconds to even us up. Ozolinsh would score in the second. Hull would score to make it 4-2. They'd get a goal a minute later, but we would hold on. Hobby Bulin stopped 22 out of 52 shots on Cristobal Huet. All right, Game 3 is a 5-2 loss. So we are up 2-1 now. Who is this? Antti Torminen with a hat trick. We were up 2-1 after, or it was 2-2 after 2, and then they would score 3 goals in the third period. So not a great game for us there, but we still lead 2-1 in the best of 7. We are up 3-1 as we win 5-2. Holmstrom with a goal and an assist. Doan with 2 goals. Hull with 2 assists. Recchi would score first. Sushinsky would score to tie it. They would take a 2-1 lead going into the third, but then 4 third-period goals. Holmstrom, Demitra, and then Doan would score twice. Not a good game for Huet. He only stopped 25 out of 29 shots. A lot of blue in there. That's what you like to see. A lot of blue in there. Pavel Demitra with a monster game offensively and defensively. So can we take the series in 5? Who's hurt? Phillips is hurt. All right, he's day-to-day, so we'll get Colin White back in there. Cavalier should be back soon. Next day is a 4-2 win, so we knock out the 2-time defending NHL champion Philadelphia Flyers in 5 games. Saleh would score first. They would be up 2-1 after 2, and then 3 goals in the third. Ozolinsh would score twice. Hull would pick up his 5th, and we win the series 4-1. So let's take a look at our stats here through 4 games. Or through 5 games, rather. Hull led us with 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. Ozolinsh with 6. Holmstrom with 5. Thornton with 5. Doan and Demitra with 4. So it wasn't even really our top line. In fact, it wasn't our top line at all, as Yashin had 1 point. It was a -2 in 5 games. Secondary scoring got it done for us. And then how was Hobby Bulin? 9-14 and a 2-4-0. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so what is Yashin's hurt? Oh, no. Maybe we can get them game ready here before our next series, which is now. Okay, so where are we? So Yashin is out. Lecavalier is out. Phillips can come back, but I think I'm going to leave Colin White in there. And they're both... Oh, no. Come on. All right, so we have to literally go down to Grand Rapids and call up a forward. I think it's going to be Chris Phillips. We're going to stick Chris Phillips in, or Chris Kelly, just because of that defense. We're going to stick Chris Kelly in our postseason lineup here. So Yashin out, Kelly in. And what does that do to our lines? So it moves Thornton up to the top line. We'll leave Kelly there with Doan and Rolston. So that's going to be a heavy-duty defensive line. Alfredson, Thornton, St. Louis, Holmstrom, Dimitra, Hull. Hopefully we get St. Louis back here shortly. He's day-to-day, so in theory we should. Let's take a look at Montreal. They finished 36, 35, and 11. They were led points-wise by Saku Koivu, 66 points. They didn't have anybody really come close. So Koivu, Damphouse, and Bellows, Darcy Tucker, Mike Johnson, Benoit Brunet, Mike Keane, a 30-year-old John Leclerc in goal. They got Patrick Waugh and J.S. Jaguar, who actually got the majority of the starts. So Waugh was their backup goalie this year, it looks like. Yeah. Okay. So we have to play through some injuries here to make this happen. Let's see what happens in Game 1. It's a 5-1 victory. 2 assists for Ozelinch. Hobby Bulin stopped 34 out of 35. Alfredson had a goal and an assist. That's what you like to see. Goals out of your defensemen. Soleil and Stewart would give us a 2-0 lead. Alfredson and Jomp would give us a 4-0 lead. Thornton would score his first, put us up 5-0. So let's keep going. I'm just waiting for the email that says I can get him in the lineups here. Development report. So we're going to have Hall of Fame voting, I think, coming up here in a second. Yep. All right, so let's sim Game 2. It's a 4-2 win. So we are up 2-0, missing 2 of our top 3 defensemen. No scoring in the first. We got goals from Holmstrom, 2 from Alfredson in the second. Hull would score his 6th in the third to give us a 2-0 lead. 23 out of 25 shots stopped by Hobby Bulin. Select a Hall of Fame nominee. Is Ozelinch out? Is he... Okay, he's available day-to-day, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Hall of Fame nominee. Rod Langway, without a doubt. So we move on for another day. Let's get to Game 3. Can we take a commanding 3-0 series lead? We can't. We lose 4-1. So very similar to the last series in which we took the first 2 games and then lost Game 3. Only goal for us scored by St. Louis. All right. Let's go back to mail, actually. Sim ahead another day. Are my players back yet? No. Lecavalier is day-to-day. Yashin is still day-to-day. So Game 4, can we take a 3-1 lead? We can. We get smoked. We lose 6-1. Eric Desjardins, 3 assists. Matthew Schneider, 2 goals. Ozelinch would score for us. We were down 4-0, or 4-1 in the first. Hobby Bulin got pulled after 22 minutes. Okay, so it's 2-2 now. So Lecavalier, still best if he was held out of games. What happens if we sim ahead another day? Okay, so we can get Lecavalier back out there. And we will replace Frazier with Lecavalier. Let's check our lines. So Lecavalier, Doan, and Rolston will be that third line now with Kelly, Jomp, and Shusinski on the fourth. So Game 5. So Montreal has battled back to tie this one at 2. And we win 5-1 in Game 5. St. Louis a goal and 2 assists. Hull a goal and an assist. St. Louis would score. Chris Kelly picks up his first NHL goal on the power play in the playoffs. Brisebois for them, and then Hull and Doan for us. Hobby Bulin only faced 19 shots, but bounced back nicely. Still without Yashin. Sim ahead again another day. And Yashin is ready for contact, so he's not quite there. So can we take game 6 and give Alexei a little bit more rest here? Oh, man, we get blown out again. 5 goals in the first by the Canadians. John Leclerc, Yevtukin, Mike Johnson, Schneider, and Rivet. Brett Hull would score his 8th. The only goal scored for us in this one. Wow. All right, so we're going to have a game 7. Are we going to have a game 7 without Yashin? We are. All right, here we go. Game number 7 at home against the Canadians for a chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. We lose 4-3. Damn. I thought for sure that bringing in Hull would push us over the edge. Losing Yashin hurt. Losing Yashin hurt. Dunham got the start. Why did they start Dunham? What the hell? All right, well, can we... I mean, at least while we're here, let's... Wait. How long is Hull signed for? Why is he not showing up on the upcoming free agents list for me? All right. Well, let's just do this. Let's just bring some of these guys back while we're here. Well, that's really disappointing. I mean, we are a step closer than we were last year, and I think that says something. And I think especially if we can bring Hull back, maybe bring him back on a short-term deal. Yeah, fine. Take it. Take my money. Why? I don't understand, though, why he's not... That's not where I wanted to go. Salary obligations. Oh, he signed for next year. Okay, good. So we have him for next year, too. All right, well, let's, I guess, sim through the end of the Stanley Cup Finals. So Washington and Montreal. Montreal makes the Stanley Cup Finals. They were 1 game over 500, and the Red Wings win their 5th or their 4th? So we started here. Quebec won in the first season, then Detroit 3 straight years, then Philadelphia, then Detroit. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, Detroit's been the best team by far so far in this playthrough. So, okay, we got to vote for 4 people. Rod Langway, Eddie Johnston, Wayne Cashman, Kenny Linsman. All right, awards. I've been extended. No kidding. NHL awards. Hall of Fame runoff. Oh, I gotta re-sign all of these guys. I say this literally in every episode, but I wish there was a way that just said, give them all their money every year until they retire, and then let me know when they've retired so that I can replace them. I know enough about hockey from the 90s and 2000s that I see the names and I know who I want. I don't necessarily even need scouts, but I don't want to run around with no scouting. So let's get all these guys signed. Bring Knuckles back. And eventually we're going to have to start making decisions with contracts once they start getting more expensive than they are now. But for now, I can still just re-sign everybody I want, and it's not a problem. Again, I'm waiting for that first year where we have actual free agency, because I've got so much money to spend that I'm gonna have fun. Wayne Cashman. NHL awards. Again, Hall of Fame runoff. Ivan Boldarev. Enough with the runoffs, Ramage. If Rob Ramage makes the Hall of Fame, yeah, let's vote for Rob Ramage. All right. So, again, I'm not even going to look at this because I'm assuming they're all RFAs still, so it's going to be another garbage season in free agency. Awards. So, Mario Lemieux wins the Ted Lindsay. Art Ross goes to Lemieux as well. Rocket Richard to Sundin. Lady Bing to Mike Eastwood. Masterson to Francis. Messier gets the Leach. Or Leach gets the Messier. And Osgood wins the Jennings. So let's see who wins the Hart Trophy. Sakic, Lemieux, or Yager. It goes to Mario Lemieux again. Conn Smythe goes to Chris Osgood. Calder Trophy, Gagne, Viborny, or Sedin goes to Simon Gagne. Norris Trophy, Leach, Lidstrom, and Ozelinch goes to Nick Lidstrom again. Selke goes to Dallas Drake. The Vezina to Osgood again. GM of the Year to Cliff Fletcher. And the Jack Adams to Scotty Bowman. So we get nothing. Let's go to the end of the year. No Manager of the Year. We reached the playoffs. We had a winning season. We had a winning percentage. We finished first. We didn't reach the finals, and we're not going to have any negatives. So we are going to get some more points. So we had 5 points to spend. So let's put it in. We're going to put it more into here. So let's go. Let's try to help him get a little better. We'll coach up our forwards. And then we'll put some points into tactics. All right, so let's sim ahead one day and see what the beginning of next season will look like. I don't know if there were any additions. And again, there's a strike coming up in here somewhere. I think it might be, what is it, 2004 maybe that there was a strike? I don't remember. I mean, you can always tell by just going here and looking at the season start. Yeah, opening night's October 4th, so it isn't this year. Historical notes, Columbus Blue Jackets and the Minnesota Wild. So we're going to have another expansion draft this season. Let's look at the free agents. Wow. Okay. So there you go. You got Pasquale Dupuis and Matthew Schneider. I'm going to throw all the money at both of them. Actually, I don't have all the money. I only have about $11 million left. What does Schneider want? He only wants one. Okay, so we can offer him a bunch, and Dupuis, he wants $1 million as well. But those are contracts I think I can handle. And then we are gonna have some decisions. I mean, we got Hall signed up for this year at 1.9. I'm not crazy. I mean, Holmstrom's been pretty good. He's been okay, but I'm not crazy about paying him $1.7 million. So that might be something that we look to move on from this year. We'll just sort of have to see how it plays out. What does our upcoming free agents look like this year? Yeah, I mean, Hall, St. Louis, Doan, Stewart. And we got a lot of players that we're going to have to pay. So we have some decisions to make coming up. It is the year 2000. Another successful regular season. Another, I don't want to say failure in the postseason, but we definitely should have beaten Montreal. Losing to Montreal in the second round, I would consider to be underachieving. Hopefully some additional growth from Thornton and Lecavalier will help us this season, and we'll see what changes we can make to finally get over that hump in the next episode. So, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.